Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board for Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. Let the record show that all board members are present, less Dan Lamar, and that the meeting was appropriately notified. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item tonight is approval of the minutes from the October 21st, 2020 meeting. Everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Bill and seconded by Aaron to approve the minutes for the October 21st, 2020 meeting. Any questions or discussion about those minutes? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'd have to abstain from voting.
All right, let the record show that Jim abstains from approval of the minutes because of his absence at that meeting. And that motion carries. All right, the next item is the 2020 Sanitary Sewer Lining Project. It is an action item, and Ryan Inger will address that for us. Hey, Ryan.
Good afternoon. My streak of presentations without asking for money has officially ended today. I had, I think, 3 or 4 meetings in a row with just some information, but we do have a project coming up that we're pretty excited about. For the 2020 sanitary sewer lining, we did the virtual bid process. We were fortunate enough to receive 6 bids. All bids were received by and followed all the recommendations as far as the time manner they were received. During the process, all bids were read aloud in a virtual bid. Since with the pandemic, we have been doing virtual bids. It's a pretty great process as far as receiving extra bids, and we've had some good success with it. The bid for in situ form did not properly acknowledge the addendum as required. The PDF for Miller Pipeline was not properly password protected. All of the bids were password protected to where we could not access them until the opening of the packet, and the company that represented the bid would give us a password at the meeting, and we would open it. Miller Pipeline was not password protected. However, it was password protected for editing purposes, so we could not go in and edit that. Now, this bid was not opened, was not forwarded, was not emailed, was not looked upon until that Zoom meeting, until that virtual meeting. And when that meeting occurred, that's when we found out it was not, the whole bid was not password protected. But we went ahead and went through all of it, all of the bids. Miller also did not provide a list of subcontractors or a certificate of insurance with the required documents. That happens in the bid process all the time and is not as a concern. I will let Jacob, legal counsel, talk about kind of the process after that and the reason why I don't have a recommendation before the board, and to see what the board recommends, how we go further with this process.
Thanks, Ryan. As discussed in the working session, what staff is able to represent to you is that the competitive bid process was in place and was not disturbed by any of the conditions or deficiencies of the Miller bid. And courts, as we discussed, sort of give boards discretion to make that determination. If anything, failing to password protect the ability to see that bid, it was from editing, was a detriment to Miller. So those are, so we sort of discussed that process in the working session to great length.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Was a detriment to, what did you say?
It would actually have been a detriment to Miller Pipeline by
Okay.
having their bid number exposed.
Okay.
Which, as staff has represented to you, it was not.
Okay, thank you.
So it was really Miller's risk.
And just to confirm for everybody, there was no password protecting the opening of that specific document. However, the document was protected from being edited, so it could not be changed, edited in any way, and it was received by 3 people, and everyone has indicated that it was not viewed before the official opening, was not passed on, was not forwarded, was not discussed anytime prior to that opening. Is that right?
Yeah, the integrity of that bid was 100% intact.
It was not compromised.
Correct. It was not compromised by any staff members or by the lack of password on the overall packet.
And as you mentioned, if it had been, and Jeff mentioned, that exposure of that number, of Miller's number, would only have hurt Miller because it would have been known to other bidders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hypothetically.
If that number got out, other bidders could have potentially, in theory, went below them and got a better price. So the fact that Miller was the lower bid, I think speaks volumes to the fact that it was not seen by anybody before the process.
Is it also correct that the Lebanon Utilities end of the virtual bid opening was videotaped?
Yeah, well, it was not videotaped. It was recorded on the Zoom meeting, the
Okay.
virtual meeting. It was recorded digitally through that.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
so audio and video of that process is available and stored.
And that is all. When we advertise in the Indianapolis newspaper and also the local newspaper, and in that advertisement, it's a public advertisement, and on multiple days. And in that public advertisement, there is an email, so anyone can request an invite or request to participate by watching that virtual opening. Obviously, with the pandemic, we try to limit the number of people in a room, so that's why how this process started. But it is a complete open process, and anyone can participate, anyone can watch it, and we do have that meeting digitally recorded, yes.
Right. All right, any questions for Ryan or for Jeff or in general about this project or the bids?
Let's see, where is the project physically located?
Well, there are a few different areas based on the each area. So I can have John Leitner come up here from Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. He's the engineer for this, and he may have this. I don't have the exact locations, but he might be able to speak on that.
Yeah, it's mostly in that kind of the northeast corner of the system. I think Indian Springs Road's probably the around Busby Street are probably the best landmarks to give, and really all the alternates, other than alternate bid number 4, which is actually a storm sewer project that will be reimbursed by the city, but base bid, alternate bid number 1, number 2, and number 3 are all kind of grouped together. It's trying to address some of those system problems that we identified in the flow monitoring study.
Okay, so this was our number 1 flow monitoring
Correct.
target?
Yep, this was the number 1 area, and then, talking with the field staff and things like that to confirm. So both data and real-world knowledge kind of went into to determining these locations.
Thank you.
And even though it does say sanitary sewer lining, this does also include manhole rehab in that area and permanent flow monitors in that area. So not only is the lining process going to improve it, but we'll be able to see real-time data from that. So we will have a before and after snapshot of the infiltration or lack thereof, hopefully, of this process. So we can equate some real dollars to the lining project.
All right, any other questions on this item?
I'll make a motion that we accept Miller Pipeline bid, subject to precise legal wording by our legal counsel.
I'd be happy to give it a shot. If I would suggest some language as follows. The board move to award the 2020 sewer lining project bid to Miller Pipeline, subject to the following 5 requirements. 1, that we approve the base bid plus bid alternates 1, 2, 3, and 4. That the award amount, or that the award is in an amount not to exceed $156,969. 3, that subject to reimbursement from the city for bid alternate number 4 in the amount of $12,049. 4, the waiving of the Miller bid irregularities, the password protection issue, the certificate of insurance and list of contractors, and that staff, Lebanon Utilities staff and its agents that were recipients of the bids sign an affidavit affirming that the Miller bid was neither open nor forwarded before the virtual bid opening.
That is my motion.
I would second that motion.
All right, so the motion is made by Aaron and seconded by Jim to approve the 2020 sanitary sewer lining project for Miller Pipeline. Any other discussion or questions, clarifications? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is approval of claims. Everyone had a chance to review the claims?
I make a motion, we approve the claims.
Second that motion.
I note that it's in the amount of $400,127.97.
That is correct.
All right, motion made by Bill, seconded by Jim to approve the claims in the amount given by Aaron. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Next item is other business. Anybody have any other business for the board?
I do, sorry about that. I got confirmation after the agenda was posted for, IDEM has approved our mixers for the both water towers. This process started with the contract we have with Suez on the tank management. You'll notice we got one of the water towers already painted. So we will be getting in, and I believe the next couple of weeks, by the end of the month, we are projected to get in the mixer for the water tower. Is going to help improve water quality.
That's both water towers, right?
Yes, both Park Street and Elm Street. And, but anytime, obviously, you introduce anything into the tower, you need IDEM approval. So I did receive that, received a digital confirmation and a paper confirmation for that. So they are on the schedule, and we'll be getting that in relatively soon. So I just wanted to kind of give everybody an update on that.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything else for the board? Or any public comment tonight? All right, it looks like our next meeting is scheduled for the 18th of November at 5 PM. Anybody have anything else before we entertain motions to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Jim to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thanks, everyone.